Blog, we are your ticket to big weather events. Haven't done a video post here or a post since Sunday, so let's talk about the weather as we get a couple of mild days here in this cold pattern. Let's just remember where we were at in December with the unbelievable warmth. I think we ended the month about 9 degrees above the average, and last time I looked, January is 1 degree below the average. It's going to be tough to balance those two out, but obviously a remarkable turnaround from the very warm December. Now, what everybody says, Todd, the cold, what good is the cold without any moisture? And I completely agree. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of leaning back in the chair and being lazy today. So, yeah, we got more shots of cold coming. And yes, we do have wintry weather chances, but no big organized storm. The way it appears on this Wednesday, January the 13th, recording this just before 8 o'clock. What you're looking at off of weatherbell.com. Again, Weatherbell is a fantastic website. And I'm showing you the GFS, the Arctic Oscillation. Very important when we look at the Arctic Oscillation Index for our region of the country especially, because typically, it doesn't always work out this way, but typically when it's in its positive phase, we're dealing with milder weather with readings above the average. When we see it in its negative phase, that's when we start to see bouts of cold weather come in, and then if you can get some moisture involved, that's when you start to see the snow. So this is why I've been pretty excited about January, because you see, let me explain this to you. That's the 0 degree, not 0 degree, that's the neutral, I should say, when you look at the Arctic Oscillation. So that's neutral or 0. This is the time, December 21st, all the way out here through January 11th and beyond. So again, this is from the global forecasting system. And look where it was. See this blue line? Just pay attention to this blue line. That was where the Arctic Oscillation was. And you see it fluctuated in December. It started to come down towards the end, but you notice how it was very much positive in December. And that correlated very well with the very mild temperatures. So then you look here and look where it's been now for January, going well into the negative. And as a matter of fact, there have been some runs. These are all the different various runs where you see all these colors and you see them on the map. And each run is different than the other, but they've all been below that neutral line and in the negative. So what that does is that allows the jet stream to come when what it's showing you is blocking up in the higher latitudes, and that forces the jet stream further towards the south, which when you force the jet stream further towards the south, usually the jet stream is the divider between the milder air and the colder air. That forces that colder air down into the lower 48. So you get a suppressed jet stream and suppressed storm track, and you start to have some fun and games. So, and that's what we've had. We had just a little bit of snow last weekend. And I'm going to show you let me move this over here, the GFS and let's start off with the GFS, then we'll go to the Euro. What you're looking at here, the black lines, let me explain everything you're looking at here. The black lines, those are isobars, lines of equal barometric pressure. And we're measuring these in millibars, not inches of mercury. They're in millibars here. So that's 1,000 millibars. So you have low pressure right there, frontal boundary. The blue line, the solid blue line, is what we call the 540 thickness line. And what we usually use that, if you come here to the blog, you know I like to look at that for the rain-snow indicator. But that's not the end-all, be-all of rain-snow. But it's usually a good indicator of where your rain-snow line is for our region of the country. And the other thing is you have to go look at the surface temperatures. That's very important. You can have that 540 line on top of you, or even lower thicknesses below 540, and if surface temperatures aren't cooperating, forget about it. It's rain. It may be snow above, but it melts. But anyway, so you have a frontal boundary. The other thing is, here's the timestamp here on the GFS. So you're looking at Friday. It's at midnight Friday, January the 15th. So you have low pressure and you have a front. Obviously, when you see these higher thicknesses here expanding up in the Ohio River Valley, you're in the warm sector. So we've got a couple of mild days, but things change, obviously, here according to the GFS. And here's Friday. We have showers. I really thought at one point earlier in the week, and the models had just been absolutely atrocious, but I did think at one point we could have thunderstorms, and it just seems like that there's not going to be a lot of moisture with this. But anyway, so that low tracks up here towards the Great Lakes, according to the GFS, by noon Friday, and the cold air starts to come back. So we have this milder weather now, and then the cold starts to come back, and then you see these lines of equal barometric pressure: 1018, 1020, 1024, 1032. So you have high pressure nosing in. There's the low. Remember, counterclockwise flow. High pressure up here, low pressure here, and so you have cold air funneling down. You see these faint gray arrows showing you wind direction here at the surface. Also, by the way, these big blobs, that's showing you how much precipitation over the previous 6 hours. So that's rain. That's snow in the Rockies. Snow in the Rockies. Anyway, so this is Saturday at midnight, and this is the next thing I want to show you with the GFS. So don't get your hopes up on this. It is digging a system way far to the south. Surface low over southeast Texas. Look at that 540 line. Again, you've got very cold Arctic high and cold air coming back into Arkansas. And I think there is going to be a swath of snow out here in Texas and Oklahoma. I mean, I think the surface temperatures are going to cooperate. The upper level conditions are going to cooperate. You're going to see winter weather advisories, maybe even more out here into the Red River Valley. And some of this tries to sneak into Arkansas. So this is snow chance number one. And it's, don't get your hopes up. It's not all that great. But in the GFS shows the surface low near New Orleans, and then you have light precipitation in southern Arkansas. The one thing that could go wrong with this, the air is too dry at the surface, it doesn't reach the surface, or you have too much precipitation along the Gulf Coast, which blunts the moisture from reaching this far towards the north. This doesn't make a lot of sense to me that it's this far towards the south. But nevertheless, it's there, and I would not get your hopes up. This is Saturday for southern Arkansas, light snow. It's a possibility, but let's just watch this. Don't get your hopes up all that much. That moves away. You just got cold air coming in. The GFS, which just several days ago I warned everybody about this, had temperatures on Sunday near 50 degrees. I don't buy it. I think it's going to be a lot colder than 50 degrees on Sunday, and especially on Monday. But this is the next thing. It shows a system coming in out of the north. The GFS has it, the Euro a little bit more gung-ho with it, and I'll show it to you in just a second. But a system sliding in from the northwest, that is not, again, I cannot stress this enough. When you see these disturbances in this northwesterly wind flow aloft, there's a northwest wind flow aloft. When you see these disturbances coming down, these are not your typical systems, and they're not your big snow producers here. They can produce light snow showers and snow flurries, especially in the higher elevations of the Ozarks. And I think that's what you're looking at, but they are typically not big snow producers. Let's go to the European, and let's talk about that South Arc. There's the rain on Friday. The cold air comes in, and it's got that system on Saturday. This is Saturday at noon. So, yeah, you're going to see some fun and games out here in Texas and Oklahoma. But this really suppresses it towards the south. Doesn't even get it into southern Arkansas. So that's another reason why I'm saying don't hold your breath. This has got a tremendous amount of cold air. There's the disturbance I was talking about coming in through Sunday, Monday. See how this rides through North Arkansas. This is not showing, it has it kind of fizzling out, but this would be enough to bring some light snow to the northern portion of the state on Sunday. Don't get excited. That's not how we get our big snows around here at all. There could be a few flakes flying there. And then it's cold. There's a big batch of cold air. However, then we go right back next week according to the European model. This is Tuesday, and then into Wednesday. Low pressure forms here. Southerly flow develops. We're back into the milder air. So for a period of time, we get back into the mild air, and then the European has been showing yet another charge of cold air coming down the plains, another front. This is on Thursday, January the 21st, 21st and into the 22nd, another charge of colder air. And the track of this area of low pressure, you cannot judge it right now and say this is the track of low pressure. When we have an Arctic oscillation that's in its negative phase, I look for a more southern track of that system and more cold air to get involved. So that's something to watch towards the end of next week. Oh my gosh, almost 10 minutes. I hope I haven't bored you. I'm juiced up right now. I've got my coffee. I've had my eggs. 3 of them, Jeff Lawrence. So anyway, thank you very much for coming to the Arkansas Weather Blog. I'll keep you updated. We are your ticket to big weather events.